Hi, everybody. Okay, you guys, tonight is ladies' night. That's why you hear the music in the background. I have the ladies here with me tonight, guys. Hey, Bree. Okay, thank you. Because let me tell y'all, you know what? I'm going to clean my screen. This is not what you should do, but I'm going to clean it. I'm sorry, y'all, for being unprofessional. I got to clean my screen. I should have did it. Bree, don't laugh at me. Okay, y'all. So we are live from the beach. We are on our family vacation, and I have two of my favorite girls with me tonight. I have my mom and my baby sister here tonight. And it's ladies' night. So thank y'all for joining us. That is my son. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. We are on vacation. You know, it's summertime. Y'all know how I said I didn't really want to do the podcast stuff during the summer, but you know how we doing, and we just gonna roll. But what's so great about doing it during the summer is I get to hang out with my favorite girls. And look, we got our wine. We're just gonna have some fun, some cocktails and wine, have some drinks with you ladies. Just go live. This is impromptu. They don't even know what questions I'm asking them. I just said, y'all gonna join me for Marriage Business Monday tonight. We're gonna leave the boys, they out fishing. It's just the ladies, so we can get raw. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. So tonight I got mom here and Sissy Ebony, and we're gonna ask them a few questions. The wonderful thing about this is that we have three different genres, represented tonight, right? So Sissy will be celebrating 10 years next month in September. Yay! She's celebrating her 10-year anniversary this year. We're super excited about it. So you can get some perspectives from Sissy, in the 10-year range. Then you got me at 24 years on August 12th, which you guys I mentioned during our last podcast. Mm-hmm. So, kind of mid-range, almost at the 25-year, not quite mid-range. But then you got the OG mom, who will be celebrating 50 years next year. So she is up there, almost at 50, not quite at 50, but she the OG. So we thought, you know what? It'd be nice to have ladies' night, bring some wisdom tonight from different genres. So you guys, please feel free to pop questions in the chat. We want to be, talking and flowing with you guys. We're going to keep it short tonight. Just ask 2 or 3 questions. But if you guys have any questions for the OG, then make sure y'all ask, because this one right here got a lot of wisdom. My sister and I are so blessed to have mom, because she gives us, advice on raising children, how to, make sure we're good wives, what to do with these husbands, how to make them clean up behind themselves, all those good things. We go to her for everything, okay? How to be a good auntie, mama, sister, Christian, all of the stuff. Mom is like, she like the Bible. We just, it's Bible and then it's mom, So anyway, so I thought it'd be good to bring mom in. Before we get to tonight's show, right? We are I need to clear a few things. One, see, mom being the OG that she is. I had a show, I think it was not the last show, because we had the Scots on last show, but the show before last, and I was talking about, how, you get all of these, like, credentialing for, like, to become a lawyer and accountant and this and that. But you don't need, credentialing or like a license or anything like that for marriage. And mom said, you do need a marriage license. So make sure you clear that up, ma'am. I was like, yeah, mom, you're right. You do need a marriage license. But what I meant was like education and curriculum before you get married. You get the marriage license just so you can have a ceremony. But I was, kind of talking about curriculum. But mom's like, you need to make sure you clear that up, because you do need a marriage license. I don't want people out here thinking they can get married without a license. So mom is official business. She in the Catholic church, she don't play that. She like, make sure you let people know they got to be official. Don't be out here trying to get married and they got their documents. So I was like, yes, ma'am. So want to make sure I clear that up. The other thing before we start this show tonight, Bree said, hey, ladies, say hey. Hi. Hopefully we get some more people joining. We know people are on vacation. It's like the last couple weeks before school starts. So everybody trying to get their vacation in. Bree said, hey, mama. So, people are trying to get their last little vacation, like us, at the beach before these kids go back to school. So I hope y'all are, at the beach or at the mountains or somewhere fun and joining us from wherever you guys are, this tonight. The other thing I wanted to clear up or talk about before we start, I wanted to get y'all advice too, ladies, is, we had a lot of comments about the last show. I mean, lots of comments, right? And I just wanted to make sure I cleared up the room on the Scots. You know, like I want you guys to know, you know, people said, did you vet them? Blah, 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 blah. And I want you to know, yeah, like I'm not here to bring people who have perfect marriages on this show. You know, this show is about learning. This show is about real marriages, and real marriages go through stuff. I don't want to bring somebody who's saying my marriage is so perfect. We don't have any problems. You're going to have some problems. So marriage is ugly sometimes. It's not always beautiful. So those people who was all in the comments talking about the Scots, I want us to not judge, because Mom tell them the only person who judges is God, right, Mom?
That's right.
And it's not right for us to be judging, because we all had stuff go on in our marriage that we don't want people attacking us about. We don't always, and if they ain't want to tell y'all all their business, and people saying, oh, they ain't say this, ain't say that. Well, you shouldn't be telling everybody your business. That's what this one tell me all the time. Don't be telling people your business about y'all. You keep that in your house. That's what she say all the time. Okay. So we don't want to be judging them. We just, if we know some stuff about them, let's go to the Lord in prayer on it. Pray over them folks. Okay. Any comments on that, girls? Y'all want to add anything to that, ladies, before we get into tonight? About them Scots, people coming for them, coming for them people, Ma, that ain't right, is it?
No.
Coming for them people.
No.
So you get on the
Marriage is a challenge, really. You gotta be, your communication skills, you and your husband, you have to have a good communication. And you have to, you know, like if something go wrong in the marriage, you need to sit down and say, let's talk about it. And not run away from it. Some people choose to run away and get upset. You don't get upset. You just say, can we talk about this? Whatever the problem is.
Yeah, that's right, Mama. Talk about it, and don't be dogging people coming for their marriages, because you judge people and God will show you. Okay, so I just want to clear that up before we get to the questions. So make sure you guys can't post comments. Okay, make sure you guys feel free to post or ask questions or add comments in the comment section if you have anything that you guys want to say. And if there is any comments in or questions in Instagram, please let me know, Bree. Okay. All right. So I would like to start off with, I'm going to go to the OG, because you can't have the OG on and not start with her. Okay. Just out of pure deference and protocol. So I'm going to go to you, Mama.
Okay.
First of all, let me tell you, I love this one right here. This is my girl. So, Mama, I want for all the mamas out there who mom is like me, or I'm like her, I guess. She has 3 boys. I have 3 boys. One of the big things that I worry about is like, am I gonna like the person they marry? Because that is a big deal for me. You know, having boys. You know, boys do not take care of their mamas like, you know, girls do. Like, we gonna make sure the parents, when they older, they taken care of. So I need a good daughter-in-law who gonna make sure if I have, you know, some situations, I'm taking care, because I know my boy's gonna be like, they gonna put me in a home. But I need a good daughter-in-law who's gonna say, we ain't put, like, I would never put her, no, I'm gonna take care of her if she needs me too. So, Mama, what I want to ask you, since I've been around 24 years now,
I know,
what should the moms look for as they're coaching their boys on wife potential? What should I tell my boys, and what should the ladies out here with boys tell their boys on, you know, and give them advice? How should you advise them on finding a good mate? You know, if you know, I hope you think that I'm a good mate, but anyway, she might not. But anyway, whatever you, what do you think the mamas need to know and how they advise their boys on? Because you have 3 boys and they all are married, and I think, you know, you probably gave them all advice because you give good advice. So any thoughts on like what these boys need to be looking for, and what the mamas need to be telling these boys as they look for a good wife?
Well, first of all, my husband, he told the boys, we had a meeting every Monday night with our boys. He would tell the boys, find somebody like your mother. I said, don't tell them that, because you can't find somebody like, everybody is different. So, but the main thing I used to tell them, try to find a good woman who's going to be in your corner. And if you need me to analyze her for you, bring her by my house before you decide that you're going to marry her. So that's what they did. Every time when they met,
So
when
let the mama know. Let the
Yeah.
mama give people out first.
right. And when
Okay.
I met Benika, it was like something just grew on me. You know, I had an intuition. I guess it was divine intervention.
Yeah.
Told me that's the one for Dante.
Because I'm
That's
like
why-
her. That's why. I'm
No.
I'm a lot like you. They did marry somebody. He did marry somebody like his mama. Because I'm more like her than I am like my biological mom. But
Mhm.
anyway, I'm a little Betty Wilson.
A little one.
Look, you see that, y'all? Just like, make sure you stay in your place, ma'am. You're
A little.
junior.
A
So
junior.
yeah, we are a lot alike. We both speak our minds, little
That's
feisty, love the Lord,
Love the Lord.
love the Lord. What else, Mama?
That's
We
the
a lot
first
alike.
person we love. We love the Lord.
So look for somebody that's kind of like your mom and who you feel like blends in with the family good.
Mhm. More family oriented.
Very family oriented.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's good. Because I think that's so important. Don't you think like getting along with your in-laws is like so important and critical to a successful marriage? Do you think it's critical for a successful marriage or no?
Not really.
No. Okay.
The two people have to. You're gonna have disagreements, really, but you have to sit down and talk about whatever you're disagreeing on,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come together to really iron out whatever's going on in your life, you know, and you tell your mate, you know, this I don't like,
Mm-hmm.
and your mate can tell you what he doesn't like,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times they hold it within. They're afraid they're gonna hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But if you very, you know, if you got to be a little bit outspoken, let the person know that this is not what I look for in a marriage.
You got to have thick skin a little bit. Huh?
Have
Let me
faith.
tell y'all, when I met Mom, I had a little Halle Berry haircut. I thought it was so cute. You know, I had a little Halle Berry, you know, with the shave in the back. And speaking of thick skin, not holding your tongue like this one right here. She was a hairstylist, and she said, "You a cute little girl, but you need a relaxer in the back." Remember that, Mom?
Should have never told you that, because
I was like, okay. I said, well, can I get an appointment this week? Y'all, so this one right here don't hold no time. But guess what? She became my stylist after that. I was getting my hair dyed and fried and permed and relaxed and all. She took good hair of my hair. So you gotta have thick skin if you want to be around this one right here. But anyway, but I do like the whole tell it like it is and be honest. Because I do feel like sometimes in relationships, especially like when you're marrying someone and you're trying to figure out where you fit in their family dynamics and how you fit in and how you play in, just being your authentic self. Like Mom always said, be yourself. Like, don't come here putting on no show and then you really somebody else behind closed doors. Be your authentic self, so I can know, one, if I really like who you really are, not your representative, and two, you know, so that we can help you navigate and fit into our total family, because both families have to blend in. Speaking of both families blending in, Ed has a wonderful in-law situation as well. Ed, anything you want to add to like the whole like blending in once you get married, how you navigate? Because one of the biggest things I hear from people, they say oftentimes is like our marriage struggles because we don't get you know, along with the in-laws. There's an in-law tension situation. A lot of people do not have healthy in-law situations, but you do have a very good healthy in-law situation. So any best practices or thoughts, or you know, how you navigate your in-law situation, because you and your mother-in-law have an amazing relationship.
I think what you said was spot on, like as far as being your true authentic self, because I never tried to be anybody but who I was, and they accepted me for who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And with my mother-in-law, like she just is a very genuinely sweet person anyway. So I don't think that it would be too many people that wouldn't mesh with her. I mean, you know, she can find the good in anybody, but I would say it's definitely a bonus. Like I couldn't imagine not having a good mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Just because she's so supportive.
Yeah.
And even how you talked about like with our parents, aging and maybe needing the kids to help take care of each other. So my mother-in-law took care of so many people in her life, her brother, her father, her, you know, so she gave me good advice for that. And my husband was supportive of me taking care of our dad, because he watched his mom take care of so many people. And that was another good thing that we connected on, just giving me advice on, make sure you still take care of yourself, even though you're taking care of so many people.
Mhm.
And just little things like that I might have forgot to do in the moment because I'm just trying to do everything for everybody.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we've been blessed in getting amazing bonus moms. We don't even call them our mother-in-laws. We call them like our moms, like they're our moms. Like we have been blessed. And I know so many people, so many of my friends who do not have healthy relationships with their in-laws, and it's caused such a strife in their marriage. You know, the mother-in-law speaking negatively, you know, to the daughter-in-law, or you know, it's cursing the marriage, quite frankly. And I have a friend who talks about the tongue, you know, like watching the tongue, the power of the tongue, speaking life or speaking death in a relationship or a friendship or your life in general. How you always have to speak life. And if you have somebody constantly cursing you or your marriage, that can be very damning, if you will. So we are very blessed in that way, which is why I started tonight with asking about that. I forgot to turn on my thing. I always forget to do that. So anyway, okay, so I'm gonna go now to you, Ed, and ask you. So at 10 years, you know, you always hear people talk about, you know, y'all tell her the 7-year itch. Like, ew, is there really a 7-year itch? And like after 7 years or 8 years, does it get better? So you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary this year. What's your thoughts? Is the 7-year itch true? And can you talk a little bit about how you feel being able to celebrate 10 years and kind of the ebbs and flows, and any advice for people who are, you know, at that 5 to 7 year where it is tough trying to understand how you compromise with somebody and live your life and go from independent to like being married, and what that looks like, and still struggling with that. Any thoughts or advice on, you know, getting the 10 years and what that, you know, what's best practices for, you know, success?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think, to be honest, like this is, I feel like every year gets better. I don't feel like we had a 7-year itch, sort of say, where we had to figure out if it was gonna work, or figure out if it was gonna get better or worse. I don't know. I don't feel like we ever went through anything like that at 7 years. I just think every year we grew together and just got better and better, and learned more about each other, got more comfortable about each other, got around each other. And I think like trust, like just building trust and like creating that space. Like when he's gone, I'm able to be my whole self. Like as far as, I don't feel like I got to worry about anything happening when we're not apart, or, you know, like, and it grows when we are together. So I don't know if that makes sense, but basically I just feel like if I can give anybody advice, is that continue to be who you are, like, and have open conversations. Like Mom said, if anything is bothering you, if anything needs to be let out in the open, make sure y'all have those conversations. Communication is very important, and we talk every single day. My husband is my best friend.
Oh,
That's
so cute. Her husband is her best friend. That's so beautiful. Okay, well, thank you for giving us 10 years here. I mean, 10 years is a big milestone. And speaking of milestones, well, this one over here has 10 times 5 almost. So Mom, I have a question. This is a good one, I think. This is my, if you don't want to answer, you can tell me, but because I don't know how you want to, but how important is sex in marriage, Mom?
Oh my goodness.
I had to ask because you're the OG at the table, and people are asking, like, how do you feel about asking your mom about sex? Lord, is that important in a marriage, Mom, or no?
It's how the
as I drink my wine.
Bonica. Now that is really a hard question, and it's kind of personal anyway. But anyway, sex, you grow, you know, like, in other words, how do I put this now? It's not that important if the two people come together and you're like friends, you're like husband and wife. That's your best friend. They will understand, you know, that sex is not the most important thing. You know, you don't marry a person for sex, because if that's the case, then, you know, that's why they're not the marriage is not working.
Working. Because you came for the wrong
You came
reasons.
for the
You
wrong
showed up for
reason.
the wrong reasons. huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had to ask the OG about that one. Okay. All right, Mom.
Oh, this is getting.
So, Mom, I gotta ask you this because I'm at 25 years, and oh my
Mhm.
God, to be almost at 50 years, I look at you guys, and you guys really are like a model for us, for success. Like watching you guys navigate different situations, being able to come to you guys for advice. In marriage, are there seasonalities? Are there peaks and flows and ebbs and flows in a marriage? And if so, like, can you talk about like those seasons and how you guys maybe had some rough parts when you were maybe raising children and then working two jobs and now to be here in retirement and living your best life, and talk to people about the tough times and how they can maybe navigate through some of the tough times, since you definitely have a lot of wisdom.
Well, to put it to you like this, my husband and I both were in the military. Okay,
Mhm.
he had to go. Sometime he would travel. I understood his job as far as traveling.
Mhm.
A lot of people, they get bored. They'll say, well, I'm bored. My husband's never here. But if you have a good understanding about the working relationship, then the marriage will continue to grow.
Mhm.
Because I was like, sometimes I was there with the kids, sometimes he was there with the kids.
Mhm.
I had to go to school. Sometimes I had to travel out of, to another state to go to school. We understood that, but we kept, together. We would communicate, even though we were out of town,
Mhm.
maybe for maybe I would say 2 or 3 months at a time.
Yeah.
But, my kids understood because
Mhm.
I told them. We talked to them all the time. I mean, we would tell them, we're trying to make a career out of the military, and we are not going to let anything happen to you as far as being, taking care of you.
Mhm.
We're going to make sure you're taken care of. But in the meantime, the military is not really our first priority, but it is a priority. My family came first.
Mhm.
That was understood.
But you had to feed them. So.
Yeah, but we had to
From
feed
that
them. We had to
perspective, it was.
understand. They
Mhm.
understood the fact that they took care of each other too.
Mhm.
I had an older son who he took care of Dante.
Mhm.
Daryl took care of Dante. Dante took care of Dominic.
Mhm.
So we had that understanding that the older brother will make sure that when you get home from school, he will make sure you got food to, they would.
Yeah,
we
I bet
had
you were
food
also
there.
teaching them some responsibility
Right.
in that too. So what I heard you say, let me make sure I heard this right. So I heard one is you have to set priorities. It doesn't sound like there's real work, like how people talk about like real work-life balance. It doesn't sound like it's real like marriage life balance. It's more like marriage life priorities. Like right
Mhm.
now in this season, this is the priority.
Right.
Right. And then later in our season and in the next season, this might be the priority. And
Exactly.
it sounds like, I know you talked about having those meetings, like those family meetings. So it
Mhm.
sounds like the kids were on board and bought into what the season priority was because y'all had those meetings weekly.
Right.
So they were bought into, okay, so now older brother, you're going to have to take on more responsibility. So I hear you teaching responsibility. I hear you teaching not work life or marriage life balance, but marriage life prioritization in the season, depending on what it is. So is that fair to say? Did I get it right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
got it right.
Okay.
And the work rate, work ethics. We taught them you will work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At 15, my kids were bagging grocery at the commissary.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday morning, I would tell them, "You gotta go. You gotta work. If you want those Air Jordans, you gotta work and pay for them because I'm not gonna pay
It's
for them."
funny.
So-
Air Jordans are still popular
Yeah.
even now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like that, like giving them real like experience. That experiential learning is so valuable, and they were getting it at home and able to take it into the workforce because all three of your boys keep good jobs.
Mhm.
So I love the fact that you was teaching them early on, like responsibility, work ethic, all of that good stuff, prioritization, seasonality.
Mhm.
So I bet they probably implement that in their own home. I can speak for your middle son. We implement the meetings weekly in our own home.
That's
and
nice.
helping our kids also buy into like what's important for our family this season, what's important here, and what's important for them too, and all that. So thank you for giving Dante that model. Mom,
And that helped
because
your
we use
marriage too. It
Yes,
does, because
yes.
when the kids see how you are getting along real well, then they will
Y'all, I told them we want to live and we got the kids walking up in here. Sorry.
But
okay.
they will take, in other words, you set an example for your children,
Mm-hmm,
showing them what a marriage should be like.
mm-hmm.
So, and just to touch base on that, I told my boys, you never hit a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Always talk, communicate.
Yeah.
If you, I said, and I gave them a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like for a man to hit your mother?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like it? And they all said no. So that's why they, like I said, take a drive.
Mm-hmm.
If you get so upset that you feel like you got to hit somebody, I said, just get in your car, take a drive, come back, you'll feel better.
Yes, yes,
You know.
yes, I like that. All right, well, we're getting close to our time. So the one thing I'm going to end with, and I'll ask either one of you guys this, and whoever wants to answer can answer it. I got two more questions. The first one is, this is Marriage Business Mondays, and I know you both have the book, and I think read the book. I know you're almost finished, and I think have finished it. Were there any nuggets that you guys were able to get from the book that you like to, talk about or share? Any nuggets?
The book is very good.
Mm-hmm.
To those who haven't gotten the book, I advise you get that book. That book is very helpful. I'm reading it. I haven't finished it, but when I get into it, I can't put it down. Because and I have other things I need to do. So I'll section it off, and then I'll say, well, I'll get back to the book. The book is good. I'm just letting you know that Bonika's book is very good. It's very helpful.
I would say, obviously, it's my favorite book. But it was.
I did not pay her to say that.
No,
Yeah.
she did not.
She probably sent me an invoice tonight, but
it was just good on a lot of different levels for me, because obviously she's my big sister, so her perspective of my parents' dynamic was a lot different than my perspective of it. And just hearing her viewpoints on certain things and helping connect those dots within our parent struggle helped me as her sister. But also just as a woman, just understanding that we got to let go of some things that may cause us baggage, and that's also a part of our personal growth. You can have the best man in the world, but if you're carrying all this baggage and you're holding on to all this weight, all this trauma from your childhood or from prior relationships, that can really impact how you're going, how things are going in your current relationship, because you're putting those own barriers on it. Not because that other person is doing, they could be giving you 100%, but you're only giving them back 70% because you're still holding on to things. So that really, really helped me a lot. Just kind of, like I said, get through some trauma and past things that I may have been holding on to.
I love that. Thank you, Sissy. Thank you, Mom.
Bonika and Ebony, her sister, they are two of the sweetest young ladies that I've ever met. Really, we can talk and I can tell them things and they do not get upset, nor do they disrespect me. They're always very respectful.
Yes, because we love you, Mom. Yeah. Okay, that was I said I had two more questions. So the last one I'll say is there any one thing that you guys want to leave with the audience? Because I do know that a lot of people who watch the podcast or even go to the book are struggling, are looking for hope or inspiration or just some nugget because they are in a tough time. Because marriage, I already said, I started off with, marriage is tough. It's just like life. You have your ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's wonderful, wonderful. Sometimes it's not. You go through whatever situations, whether it's a work termination or, whether it's a death in the family, and marriage is the same way. You still go through all of those ebbs and flows. And, is there anything that you guys would say has been key, or any piece of one nugget maybe that you guys can give them? I know, Mom, I like you to talk a little bit about this one, because Mom has helped me with this. It's just Mom is quick to light a candle and say a prayer and pray And I think that's been, with one of the things that I know I gained from you is like praying in my marriage. But, if you want to talk about that or any other things that you just want to leave with the audience before we let them, get back to their Monday night.
The only thing that I can say is like I tell Benika, and sometimes I talk to Ebony, but we talk a lot, is that prayer will change things. If you pray about whatever's going on in your marriage, God will strengthen you. God will help you will solve the problem. He's a way maker. And I'm telling you, all you got to do is get on your knees, pray, and then ask your husband, we please talk about what's going on? Don't just pack your bag and leave. Don't do that, because you might leave and you might regret it. Because I've had people to tell me, I was looking for the grass, thought the grass was greener on the other side, but it's worse. So, if you're a singer and looking for, just pray for God to send you a good husband. That's what I did. I prayed for God. I don't care. It's like a girlfriend of mine in Pennsylvania said, she said, Betty, I don't care if the man is blue, black, red, green, whatever color. If he's a good man, honey, you better grab him. She said, because I'm telling you, it's hard out here. She was having a hard time finding a soulmate. She didn't want to get married. She just wanted a soulmate, she told me. But
that's good, Mom. Which makes me want to ask Ebony something.
Oh, Lord.
But Ebony, I remember your nugget that you want to get. But so, how did you know your husband Andre was the right one? Was there like something that like you were able to discern? Because Mom talked a little bit about it, but how did you know? Because y'all had 10 years and you're still very happy in your marriage.
I would say, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but he always held on. Like even how Mom said, like you said this too in the book, I believe, but I was quick to pack my bags or quick to give up or quick to say, you know what, I'm not standing for this. I'm better than this. Or
that's that Cleveland in her.
Yeah, I'm like, it was easier for me to run. Like
stop. We'll piece you out in a moment, honey. Yeah. Like 1 moment's notice, I got my stuff, gotta go. I'm sorry. Yeah. I digress.
It'll
right,
be
Mama,
like,
though,
I want to clarify, like it'll be for like simple stuff. Like he'd be like, I want to go watch the game. And I'm like, you don't want to spend time with me? Like, and I will feel some type of way. Like when it really wasn't even that big of a deal. So you really have to understand like what you're asking for. Like let that man watch the game and you go do something else.
Go do you a spa day. Go get a massage or a patty mani.
Yeah. So it was really that he always really wanted to make it work. And he had his parents has also been married 40 years. So he came from that opposite of us. And he just always made sure that he made a commitment to our relationship, and it was me that wasn't making those commitments, and I just had to follow through on them. And obviously he's a good looking, nice guy and all those other things that make it better, but he has a great heart, number one. So that's what it really was.
I must say both of you have good husbands. Even though Dante is my son, Daryl is my son, and Dominic, they all, sometime I met my Daryl's ex-wife that said she wished she had listened to me. She said, although his wife now is very, very good woman. She's got a career and everything. Dominic has a good wife, and that marriage is sticking because I told them, you just don't go around searching. If you got a good woman in your corner, stick with that woman. Benika and Ebony, I think any man would rather want to have them because they're very neat, clean. Boy, since we've been here, Ebony been cleaning. And I said, Ebony, you just cleaning. You're on vacation. She's very neat and clean. So that's one of the things I told my boys. Find you a woman who's neat and clean and who will be in your corner, not against you. It's like I used to tell my clients, work with me. Don't work against me.
Anything else, Ed? And that just kind of ties back to the book. Like she said, work with me, don't work against me. Don't be a helpmate, don't be a dead weight.
Yes, Tell 'em.
Just
That's in the
always,
book, y'all. Make sure
you know, this
Yeah.
was in another marriage book because you referenced like 3 or 4 that I had to read, and so I done read all the books that she referenced. So I don't know which book it was from, but one of them mentioned that too, like sort of always fight for your relationship like it can be gone, because
Right.
you can't take them for granted just like they shouldn't take you for granted. So
Mhm.
every day I'm giving my all, being the woman I want to be, making sure I'm being the woman he would want to keep. You know, not on, and the same for him. Like he's
Right.
being the man he should be, and being the man that I would want to keep.
Mhm.
And every day we're holding on to that, being good role models for our children, being good to other people, and continuing to give our best each and every day.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I know I said this last, but I got one more thing I got to ask both of y'all.
Mm-mm.
And Mama, it's this. Mama. That's how Baylor. Mama. Oh, Lord, I sound like Baylor. He's so country. Anyway. Mom, do you feel like, like looking at who your husbands are today versus who they were when you married them? Because I hear a lot of people saying like, well, he changed. I really want him to do this. I want him to do that. And I know that you really can't change people, but do you feel like your husbands at 10 years or 40 something years have evolved? And is there hope for somebody who's like, I met him like this. Why did I think I was going to change him? Or do you feel like there's a way to help bring them along? Or do you feel like who they are is constantly who they're going to be? Or, any thoughts on that? Because I know I hear people all the time talking about trying to change somebody and what that looks like. And is there an evolution of people? I don't know. And
Well,
I'll end that with that.
Ebony, you can't change people. Only God can change.
Mm.
That's why I said in the marriage, you pray. You pray, you say prayers to ask God for whatever you desire in a husband.
Mm-hmm.
If you want your husband to just be himself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change. God has to change him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And so Andre is the same exact person you met 10
Same
years ago?
person.
Mhm.
Same person.
Okay.
He's always been a very genuine, kind, loving person. If anything, like I say, it just got better. Like our love for each other grows every day, and we are.
So there
for
was
each
some
other.
sort of evolution, you feel like?
The evolution was more so, like I said before, like trusting myself, trusting him, and
Mhm.
having that trust for our family, because it's so many different dynamics. Like I look at how he parent. I love the parent that he is, which you talked about a lot of things that we should talk about before marriage, but to be honest, we didn't talk about some of those things. And we didn't have a blueprint prior to our marriage. But to be able to share the same values on parenting, on traveling, on how we spend our time and who we spend it with. We both can agree, oh, that's not a good person. We don't want that person in our lives. We both can agree, oh, that's something we want to do for our family. That's a commitment we want to make together.
Mhm.
So being able to have that love and understanding has always been there, but it's gotten more throughout the years, because you just, like I said, you let go of some things. Like, I know this is my person. I feel like that more securely now in our relationship than before.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
yeah,
love that. I love that.
Strong.
Anything
both-
else, Mama?
You
Before
both
we
are strong,
end it?
very strong women as far as with your marriage. As far as I have observed the both of you, and I don't want you to think I'm just watching you all the time, but just observing you and Ebony, you're both are similar to me. Like as far as being faithful, trying to do things to please your husband.
Mhm.
Like I, was telling you that, some things you need to let Dante. I said, let Dante share some of the responsibility,
Mhm.
because you work, you just be running. And, and Ebony, she and Andre, they make, very cute couple. He's very, very nice to her,
Mhm.
as far as what I've observed,
Mhm.
And I
Awesome.
must say, my brother, whom I only have one brother, has a very good wife. And I love her to death. And he knows that too,
Mhm.
very. And all three of my boys, they got good wives. Marriage is something that you got to sit down and you got to look at. Am I going to be able to stay with this person forever until eternity? Because when you take those vows, you say until death do us part, right? So
Yeah.
that's what you have to think about. Am I going to stay this long? But you guys you're on the right track.
Yeah. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me for Ladies Night. This has been amazing to have two of my favorite girls here with me tonight. Thank you so much. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. We went a little bit longer than we wanted to, but I hope that you found one or two nuggets tonight from 10 years in and 24 years in and 40 plus, almost 50 years in. We hope that we are able to shed some kind of nuggets to you guys and just let you kind of see into the dynamics of our family. We feel like we're very blessed. And again, know that, none of us are perfect. We don't have perfect marriages. And please don't come to this show thinking you're going to find somebody who has the perfect marriage, because that's not who I'm bringing on the show. So anyway, so thank you so much for joining us. We're here as a community to learn together, love together, and try to figure this thing called life and marriage out together. So just thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your evening and end your July off wonderfully. Okay. We look forward to seeing you again next week for Marriage Business Monday. We have about 2 more Marriage Business Mondays in this series. Please be sure to join us on August the 12th, which is my wedding anniversary, 24 years, and I will be coming live to you with someone special, my amazing spouse. So join us. Make sure you join us on August 12th for Marriage Business Monday on my very anniversary. And I'm going to be bringing, my husband. So make sure y'all send questions our way, because we're going to come live for a few minutes and just toast it up with you guys and have a celebration. So again, thank you guys for joining. I thank my mother, Daddy, and my sister Ebony for joining us. Have a great evening, guys, and take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.